Hello there, channel members, friends, and followers from around the world. This is Q8 Pilot, your host for tonight's show. And today, ladies and gentlemen, we are in Ireland, specifically at Dublin Airport. The rendition of this airport is by Boundless Simulations. And today we are flying the MD-11 service from Dublin to London Stansted in the United Kingdom. A beautiful rendition by Boundless Simulation, really, of the Dublin Airport. I really like what they've done here. This is a fully compatible scenery with X-Plane 12. But before we delve further into our live stream today, I want to welcome all of you guys to this live stream and welcome all the channel members: Rand Cooley, Stan, Boeing Corp Mike, Chicago's Skyhawk. Stan, hello Stan, welcome aboard. Glad to have you here with us. Stefanos, welcome aboard. Niels, welcome. Glad to have you all in chat with me this evening. The MD-11 by Rotate Sim has received an update, and I thought that it would be a nice change from all the PMDGs and 737s and Airbuses of the world and fly something different today. Today's flight is an actual flight. It is actually flown on the Airbus A310. But today we're going to be flying it in the MD-11, and here it is, a beautiful looking aircraft, one of my absolute favorites in X-Plane 12. As you can see, a very majestic looking aircraft, the MD-11, quite unique in its design, and it is without a doubt looking good after all the updates by Rotate. And it's fully compatible now with X-Plane 12. They have fixed a lot of the issues that were first that shipped with the first release of the aircraft. This aircraft has received a lot of criticism when it was first released. I know Captain Canada and myself struggled during the first initial stream, but now it's in pretty good shape. So let's get things started here. We're going to hop into the cockpit, and as you can see, the cockpit is really a very nice rendition of the MD-11. This is, by the way, a study-level aircraft. It's got all of the aircraft systems reasonably simulated, including fuel, hydraulic, electrical system. So let's get things started, folks. What we're going to do is we're going to bring up the Rotate control panel here to set our load and balance. I have set the reducing, I've selected the RU alignment time to be 30 seconds, just in the interest of time. And we're going to go to the load manager. We're going to bring up SimBrief for our flight plan. So let's go to charts, up one, and we're going to go to let's see, the output and operational flight plan, and we're going to select our plan, which is Echo India Delta Whiskey to Echo Golf Sierra Sierra. And this is the Lido format for the operational flight plan, which is very accurate in accordance with real world flight plans. So the really SimBrief has really come a long way. All right, so we're going to go to the load and balance page, and that's what we're interested in initially. So let me zoom this in so you guys can follow along. Right, so that's what we have here. We're going to bring this down here so it's easier for you to follow. Okay, so total payload today for the flight is 91.6. So that's 91,600 pounds. We have slight rain here at Dublin Airport. And let's see here, block fuel. And ladies and gentlemen, we have Carl Childers with us, and we just received a donation for the Fly Lilo project. Thank you very much for your donation. Appreciate it. All right, so let's see here. The payload is done, and the fuel, block fuel, today for the flight is 36,900 pounds of fuel. You can tell from the amount of fuel that the aircraft isn't very fuel efficient. Taxi fuel is 2,000 pounds. And enter, and then we're going to go to the trip fuel, which we can find on the first page. Let's see here. All right, so we come here. The trip is 15. We'll just put 15,800. So 15,800 for the trip fuel. Excellent. We are going to adjust the payload CG. We're going to make it about 30, let's see here, 32. I think that's good. 32.3 and apply. Excellent. You'll see a little bounce there. And close this for the time being. Actually, no, we need one more thing from the control panel, which is from the ground operations. We have the chalk set. We're going to go ahead and bring the ground power unit. All right, perfect. We are now ready to power up the aircraft. Ladies and gentlemen, Carl Childers just came in with a $50 super chat.
Please consider this for Fly Lilo as well. Given for a great cause and with this great community at Q8 Pilot.
Thank you very, very much, Carl. I appreciate it very much. And your previous donation has also been already applied to the Fly Lilo project. Thank you very much, sir, for your support, for your kindness. I appreciate it very much, guys. Thank you. Mats, hello, Mats. Welcome aboard. Mats Franson, welcome aboard. Thank you for your continued support. Looks like the weather is getting pretty nasty here, so let's get things started. We're going to go to the overhead panel, and we're going to set things up here. Now, the MD-11 is quite different from the Airbus and the Boeing, but there is some resemblance between both. So it's kind of, you can think of it as a hybrid between the Airbus and the on the Boeing, leaning more towards an Airbus configuration and philosophy. All right, let's go ahead and turn on the battery. Battery switch is on, and we're going to arm the emergency power. Next up, we're going to bring up the external power. External power is on, and we're going to head over to the APU and test the engine APU fire test. All right, everything checks okay, and we can start the APU. So we're just going to click on the start button. You'll see this button flashing, and when it's steady, then you will see the APU power coming on, and then you can turn that on and turn on the APU. Excellent. We can perform a few tests here. Let's do the GPWS.
Pull up. Terrain. Pull up.
All right.
Sync rate.
All right, so the tests are now complete. The anti-icing we can leave for the time. We're going to turn on the defog, and we're going to test the cargo door. And by the way, you can test it. So you can test it here. It will show everything here. Cargo door test is in progress. So we'll leave it until it's done. We don't need anything here in terms of the lights. We already have the aircraft fueled, so we're going to turn on the seatbelt and non-smoking signs and arm the emergency lights. You can test this here as well. Now, one thing that's very important to test is the hydraulic system, but we'll do this after we set our adheres to nav mode. And once you set this to nav, you need to switch the first one on and wait for the cargo fire test to complete. Now, you can perform the manual test for the cargo fire by clicking this button here, but we're just going to follow the checklist or the flow for this. Now you'll hear there you go. It's testing the cargo fire. Right, and then the test is complete. We're going to turn on the nav, the adheres to nav mode. We test the flight recorder, and we're going to erase any data from the previous flight. Everything here looks good to me, and everything looks good here. All right, so we are going to bring up our Navigraph, beg your pardon, our flight plan once more, and we're just going to take a notice of our altitude and alternate airport. The alternate is Schiphol, and the final cruise altitude today for the flight is 33,000 feet. Daniel, welcome aboard. I'm not using Active Sky in this live stream. I figured I'll save the CPU power for the for Streamlabs OBS. Absolutely nothing like flying an early 80s. It's not a video game. It's a simulator. But yeah. Mohammed Ryan, hello, my friend. Welcome. I want you to do a long-haul flight, Mr. Q8. As much as I'd love to do that, it would be very difficult to do a very long-haul flight, considering the time it takes and my available time. All right, we're going to set the flight plan, the altitude to 33,000 feet. and we're going to set the heading to runway heading. So runway heading is 160, and we'll leave the speed for the time being. And now we are ready to perform more tests. Let's uncage the display here. We're ready to do more tests now, so we're going to come down here. And by the way, all of these systems are simulated. So the engine is simulated here, as you can see. The hydraulic system, which we need to test now. The electrical system is fully simulated. The air system, you can already see. You can see the temps, altitude, cabin. Everything is obviously we don't have any of the bleeds running here, so our engines are off at the moment. Then we can go to the config there to set up our stab trim. So let's go back to hydraulics. And to test the hydraulics, we go up here and turn on the hydraulic pressure test system. And what will this do? What will this test accomplish is testing really the pressure of the hydraulics for all three engines. Okay, so while this test is going to take some time to complete, so in the meantime, we can start programming the MCDU or the FMS or the MCDU, whatever you want to call it. So let's do that. We're going to come down here and I'm going to zoom in so you guys again can follow along. And we're going to go to our flight plan. Flight plan today is quite simple. We're going to depart Dublin runway 16 through the PEST 4 Mike departure and exit at the PSET transition. We're going to then fly direct to Bacor or Bacor and then take airway November 546 onto the VOR station Sierra Tango uniform, onto airway P Papa 2 to Bedek, and then it's the Bedek 1 Lima arrival into London Stansted, and we're going to be performing an ILS runway 22 at London Stansted. Simple flight plan, straightforward. Let's go ahead and enter it into the MCDU. So flight from today, EIDW to Echo Golf Sierra Sierra. Enter that, and the alternate is Schiphol Echo Hotel Alpha Mike. Brilliant. Flight number today, we are FedEx 2502. And the cruise altitude is 33,000 feet. The current wind and temperature, we can go to the flight log, wind information, and the weather information here. See, it's perhaps on the next page. No, there we go. All right, so if we look here at Dublin, we can put 13. So we're just going to put /H18. Excellent. And we can now initialize the IRS. We're going to put the cost index, and I believe the cost index will be very high for a flight like this in an aircraft with 3 engines. 200 cost index. All right. And cost index is now set, and let's say initialize IRS. All right, so now the IRSs are aligning, and everything is in tip-top shape. Perfect. Next page, block fuel. All of that information is already set, so we'll leave it alone. We're going to go to the next page. We don't need anything here. Everything here looks good. So we're going to go to the flight plan, and we're going to select the departure. The SID today, we're departing runway 16 through the, let's see, the PESI 4 Mike. Let's go to the next page real quick. The PESIT 4, which is this one here, PESIT 4 Mike, and insert. And freedom of flight, how are you doing? Why does it have an Airbus FMC? Was the plane a collab with Airbus company or something, or just retrofitted with this new tech? I don't know, but maybe Carl can answer that. I'm not really sure, but at some point I think Boeing actually bought the McDonnell Douglas. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm sure that they not the MD-11 though. The MD-80 I think was bought, or it was with Boeing. McDonnell Douglas took over, something like that. You inspire me to get X-Plane 12. Well, I'm very glad. I hope that you were enjoying it. All right. So we have everything set up here. This is our exit from the SID, which is the standard instrument departure. We're going to go to, from Pessit, we're going to fly direct to Bakur. And so Bakur, excellent. And then we are going to select, from Bakur, we're going to select Bakur and load up the airways. And we're going to take airway November 546, November 546, and exit at Sierra Tango Uniform, Sierra Tango Uniform. And then we're going to take airway Papa 2, Papa 2, and we're going to exit Papa 2 at Bedik. All right, Bedik, excellent. Bedik is set, and then it is our star into London Stansted. So we're going to say insert, and then we're going to scroll down to, that's the top of descent, as you can see here, and Echo Golf Sierra Sierra. We're going to select that and go to the star. The star today is going to be the Biddy 1 Lima. That's the one there, Biddy 1 Lima. We're going to select that. We're going to select ILS. Now, again, this is a little different. So there is the I denotes ILS. So we're going to select the ILS, and the transition into the star today is the Laurel transition. So we're going to select that and say insert. Brilliant. We have our flight plan. You can see everything is updating here in terms of the speed and the altitude. So if we go down here just to make sure there are no discontinuities in our flight plan, we can see from the Laurel transition into the center fix for runway 22 and the final fix, and finally runway 22. Of course, this is an Airbus like Mukdu, so it will automatically get the ILS frequency. Flight in service. Welcome to Private Pilot. Thank you very much, sir, for your membership and your support for the channel. I appreciate it very much, sir. Thank you. All right. So we are done with the flight plan, and now we can enter the performance information. All right. Looks like we can go here and test the TCAS. Right. You can see it here.
TCAS test pass.
All right. TCAS system is operational per design intent. Lovely. And next we're going to go to takeoff performance. All right. We are not going to flex as there is some rain, and the runway is more than likely contaminated. So we're going to do flaps 15 for departure today. And that gives us a stab trim of 4.2. The slope and wind, we're just going to put the wind. So I'm just going to say H13. Format error, let's see, 08. Oh, doesn't like that. All right. I know why. All right, so H13. There we go. Excellent. The outside temperature is, if we go to the wind information, let's go here. And can you show the current FPS, please? I actually have it here on the Avi tab. We have about 61 FPS right now. You can see it here, the FPS counter. All right, so if we look at Dublin and we look at the current temperature is 12 Celsius. That's the outside temperature. So we're going to enter that here, and it says confirm the V speeds. We have a V1 of 136, V rotate of 136, and V2 of 150. And now we are all set up and ready to go. All right, perfect. So what we'll do now is we're going to go back to the overhead panel, and now you can see that we have the APU power available. So we are going to come here and turn on the APU power and turn on the APU. no longer need the external power. So we are going to turn off the external power. We're going to bring up the control panel, and we're going to dismiss the ground power unit, and we're going to dismiss the wheel chocks as well. Perfect. Everything is looking in tip-top shape for our flight. We're going to turn on the beacon lights on. Beacon lights are on, and the hydraulic test is complete. So we're going to put this back on config so we can set up our trim. Once we start the aircraft and we have hydraulic pressure, we'll be able to do that. So let's go ahead and plan our pushback from the position here. You can see again, one of the things that you need to verify in the MD-11 is that you have your V speeds here, and that's an indication that everything is set up correctly. All right, perfect. Everything is ready to go, and if we look at the outside, just look at how beautiful this aircraft is. So runway 16 is right here. So we're going to take taxiway November and then November 4, and then we're going to make the turn towards the runway for departure out of Dublin. All right, sounds like a plan. Let's go ahead and plan our pushback and start push.
Ground to cockpit. Please show me where you want to go.
All right, let's show her where we want to go. There we go.
Ground to cockpit. Tow is driving up.
All right, the tow is driving up. And the only thing we need now is we need to set up the altimeter. The altimeter is 908. All right, so we're going to come here and set 908 so you guys can see. Let me move this here. First, we're going to click here to change the QNH, and now 903 can be set up 909. Was it 908 or 903? What was it? 908. All right. 908 is set here, and we're going to do it on the first officer's side as well. There, you guys can see it. It's right there. So we're going to change it
all
here.
All doors and hatches are closed.
And then 908 is now set and cross-checked. Excellent. All right. Everything is ready now. And of course, we need to set our trim. We need to set the flaps. So the flap setting, we're going to go for flaps 15 today. So we're going to set here 15. All right. So that's only for takeoff flaps, by the way. So you don't need to set this up for landing. And more than likely, we're going to do full flaps for landing at London Stansted. So yeah, it's really raining. I really like the clouds, by the way. I think they look pretty nice. Yeah.
Tow connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
All right, MC Crewfish, welcome aboard. Glad to have you here. Yes, they are all default sounds, MC Crewfish. All right, parking brake is released.
Starting pushback, and you may start engines.
All right, and we have clearance to start our engines, ladies and gentlemen. So we're going to go ahead and turn on the ignition A on. And now we can start with the engine number 3. The sequence for the MD-11 is 3, 1, 2. So let's go ahead and start with engine number 3. And now, as you can see, the engines are spooling. Just look at that. What a lovely aircraft. All right, we'll wait for about 20% of N2. 20%, and we can go ahead and start the fuel. Yeah, Paradisky. I do love the MD-11 in the PMDG MD-11 for FSX. It was really something. I love that plane, and I do like this one better. By the way, this X-plane version, I like it better. All right, we have the engine number 3 now coming up, and we continue the pushback. What a lovely aircraft. Look at those wings. The curvature of the MD-11 wing is just really spectacular. Very, very nice. Love the details there on the landing gear. All right, we have a good start on engine number 3. Let's go and start engine number 1. Engine number 1 is coming up. By the way, we can turn this, and I love the rain effect in X-Plane. And I think this is one of the things, by the way, that X-Plane does a much, much better job than Microsoft Flight Simulator. You can see how the wipers actually wipe the rain effect. They wipe the raindrops, unlike Microsoft Flight Simulator. I think the only one that does it is the Phoenix, but by default it doesn't do it. So you'll just have the wipers there doing nothing. Highly unrealistic and an immersion breaker in my view. But this one's quite nice. I like that. Alright, let's go ahead and introduce fuel for engine number 1. You can feel the power and presence of this plane only looking at... Absolutely, absolutely. Is there a passenger mod for that aircraft? I haven't found one. It seems to be sold as a cargo version. It is only a cargo version, yes. All right. We have a good start on engine number 2.
Operation complete. Go ahead and set the parking brake.
Right, parking brake is set, and let's go ahead and start engine number 2.
Stand by.
So we started 1 and 3 are on. Let's go ahead and start number 2. All right, here we go. Look at those engines, guys. Look at that beautiful wing. Very good use of PBR materials. Very nice texturing, giving the aircraft a very old look. Old and dirty look. Looks really nice. I like it. Yeah. Very nice rendition by Boundless of Dublin Airport in Ireland. And if you are interested in the scenery, the link is provided in the description of the stream, as well as through chat command !scenery. London Stansted, on the other hand, is a default airport. All right, let's go ahead and give it
Tow
fuel.
is disconnected and bypass bin has been removed. Hand signal on the right. We'll see you next time and have a safe flight.
All right, thank you for your service. Hey, Niels, how are you doing, my friend? Yeah, Dublin Airport is very nice. I do miss the Aerosoft rendition of Dublin, which I think is very good, but this actually is, in my view, better. There's one comment I have for the developer and developers in general. Let me show you guys what I mean. So while the engines are coming up. All right. So the airport itself is absolutely beautiful. Okay. Very, very nice rendition. But if you look at the photoreal, you can see that it only covers this part of the airport. I would love for developers, when they create their airports, is to include a little more of the area surrounding the airport. Because as you come to land, that is what's going to really, that to me, like the way it is now, it's kind of an immersion breaker. Not a big deal, but I would probably give this airport, I would probably deduct a couple of points just for the fact that, you know, it only covers the exact airport vicinity. It would be nice not to, you know, develop any autogen or anything or any specific buildings, but just have the photoreal textures in a wider area so that it blends a little better with the overall scene. But overall, just guys, you can look at how beautiful this airport is and how detailed it is. Very easy on the frames. Some of the buildings can use a little more, you know, fidelity in my view. So probably one more point off. Overall, I would give this airport a 7 out of 10. But overall, very nice airport. Definitely Q8 pilot approved. All right, let's head back to our MD-11. We have all engines running. All right, so what we need to do is first we need to set our trim. And if we go to our trim, if we go here, the trim is 4.2. So let's set 4.2. All right, 4.2 is now set on the stab trim. And we need to set our, we need to arm the speed brakes, and we need to set the flaps to flaps 15. So all we need to do now is move it here, and because we selected flaps 15 here, this will automatically go to flaps 15. So let's cancel the master caution, And as you can see here, slat 15 and flaps 15. So this is how you verify that you have the correct flap settings done. And we are now ready to go. So unfortunately, with the MD-11, when you have the alpha flight controls, it is mapped to the landing. The taxi and landing lights are mapped together. So I cannot. You see this? It jumps back to the off position. So we either have them all, or we don't have any of them. So what we're going to do, we are going to turn on the runway turn-off lights, and we are pretty much ready to go. We're going to do flight control check, full up, full down, and if you notice here in the configuration, it will show you, you can see here, again, showing in the green, so you can verify that the flight controls are operational per design intent, and looking good. And we're going to do also the same thing for the rudder here. Let me zoom in just so you guys can see here what I'm talking about. You see the green now, and now we do right rudder, and now you see the green here again, indicating that all the flight controls are checked and are operational per design intent. We are now ready to release the parking brake and head over to the runway. But before we do so, we can turn off the APU bleed. APU is off. APU power is already off. And we're going to turn off the APU here. And now we can see all the packs have kicked in. And we are now running on the engine generators. We need to, yeah, that we need later. All right. So, parking brake is released. And now we see this little green bar. This indicates that everything is configured for takeoff and that we're good to go. All right, let's go ahead and give it some power and taxi to runway 16 for departure. One thing I'm not sure if we've done or if it's saved, I think it might be a bug. We're going to go to options, use hardware now. All right, that's good. All right, good stuff. Let's go. Why are we not moving? There we go. They've also changed the, in this update, what Rotate has done is they definitely fixed the engine sounds where we couldn't really hear the engine sounds in their previous version. So that has now been fixed, and you can now hear the engine sounds very clearly from the cockpit. So very, very nice aircraft. They really fixed everything that needed fixing. I really like this airport. The ground textures are done very well. The vegetation, the ground markings, and of course, X-Plane 12 compatibility. You can definitely see the surface refraction effect here with the water, accumulating on the ground. Very, very nice. All right, we're approaching the runway. Look at this beauty of an aircraft. All right, here we are at runway 16. Landing lights are on, and strobe light, or they call here the high intensity light. Runway turnoff is on, and everything looking good. Excellent. All right, that's the runway. So a sharp left turn to line up. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are cleared for takeoff, runway 16. We can turn off the windshield wipers. We're going to click on auto flight once, and now we can see takeoff here, and we are ready to go. Takeoff thrust is set. Although the sounds are default sounds, but they are acceptable. Airspeed alive. The rotate. Positive rate of climb. Gears going up. Oh yeah. Absolutely gorgeous. What a takeoff. Absolutely lovely. Right, I can't really see the flight plan, so let me move here a little bit. All right, that's better. All right, we can go to FMS speed, nav, profile, auto flight, and now the autopilot is engaged. A little bit of rain here as we depart out of Dublin. Oh yeah. Right, let's begin retracting the flaps. Flaps 15, and above the red dot we can now retract the flaps. You can see the slats retracting here. Look at that, beautiful animations of the slats retracting. Now tell me this does not look good. It is absolutely gorgeous. Hey Patrick, how are you doing? Are you using X camera for the views? Yes, I am using the X camera, and I'm using my own file. I've created my own file. Looking forward to getting the TFDI MD-11. Absolutely, yeah, likewise. Anthony Seaworth, hello my friend, welcome. Glad to have you here with us. Did they fix the anti-icing problem? I wasn't aware of an anti-icing problem, but it all is operational now, so we can use all of it. We are approaching, there is a restriction at 9,000 feet. We continue now our climb. So if we come here, we can turn off the runway turn off lights. Logo lights we don't need. Let's go ahead and turn off the landing lights. And we're going to also release passengers and cabin crew. All right. Everything is looking good. And we continue our climb. The clouds are looking really nice, guys, after the last update from Laminar. Hello, my X-Plane 12 is very blurry. Do you know why? The reason might be is that you're using something less than the maximum resolution. So on the texture resolution, use max in order to get rid of the blurriness. There is just something about X-Plane that makes it feel real. I don't get this feeling in FS 2020. That makes two of us, say, Anthony. Could we see the cargo hold with pleasure? Absolutely. All right, let's take a look here. Let's go. That's the first part. You know, reasonable. Not, you know, any like super fidelity, but this is the cargo hold there. Of the aircraft. Again, nicely, you know, it's not high resolution or anything like that. Not, you know, there are no animations of, so while, if you simulate things going in, you won't see them later. But overall, I like it. It's not bad. What's going on here? We're climbing back to, we're off the restriction, and now we can see here the restriction is noted 250 knots, and we continue the climb. Yeah. Tell you guys, those clouds are looking really good. All right, we are at 14,000 for 33,000. And things are looking pretty good. I really like this aircraft a lot. And I think this is probably one of the reasons why I maintain my affinity to X-Plane. The really high fidelity aircraft and the depth of system simulation, and the fact that X-Plane is a platform that allows, the developers to go to such great extents. By the way, there are many things that X-Plane does a lot better than Microsoft Flight Simulator, in all honesty. One of which is the camera system. The camera system in X-Plane, the default camera system in X-Plane, is very intuitive, very easy to use, and very powerful. The other thing is, of course, the replay. That's something we definitely all miss in Microsoft Flight Simulator. Now, another thing that is very, very well done out of the box in X-Plane is the failures system. In X-Plane, you can fail anything at any time. You can schedule the failures. Even if the aircraft itself does not have those failures, you can actually go and program those failures. So from that perspective, I think X-Plane really does a much, much better job simulating failures. Again, for example, when you simulate an engine fire in X-Plane, you'll actually see flames, you'll see the smoke, where you don't get that in Microsoft Flight Simulator with almost all the planes, unless the developer has programmed it. I haven't really seen anything that looks as good as X-Plane in terms of simulating the failures. The default airports, without a doubt, in X-Plane are far, far better than the default airports in Microsoft Flight Simulator. The flight physics, or let me say the ground physics in X-Plane, are superior to those in Microsoft Flight Simulator. It feels a lot more real taxiing on the ground in X-Plane than it is in Microsoft Flight Simulator. And on this specific point, real-world pilots have attested to this fact. So definitely, there are areas. And by the way, for my preference, I think overall the user interface in X-Plane is far better. So there are simulation aspects where X-Plane excels, and there are also user experience aspects where X-Plane excels. Creating the flight with X-Plane is much better in my view. The user interface, the user experience, the configuration part, configuring your flight controls is much, much easier than in X-Plane than it is in Microsoft Flight Simulator. So I do think that there are certain aspects of X-Plane where it really excels over Microsoft Flight Simulator. You see a lot of ugliness the closer you get down to the ground in FS 2020. All the buildings seem to melt. Yeah, if you have I think it's got to do with your internet connection. If your internet connection isn't really that good, then yeah, you will definitely get that. How did you learn all the things about FATSIM, like what you say or something like that? James, for online flying, it really does take a lot of practice to learn the phraseology what to say. For example, by the way, there are some very good tutorials out there, and there are some YouTube videos as well, where you can definitely learn a lot about about the phraseology. Now, the phraseology, having said this, it's well worth noting that the phraseology can differ in the US and in the UK, for example, or in Europe in general. So normally in the States, it's a little more lax, if you ask me. So, for example, you could say American 552 IFR clearance to Vegas, and that would be sufficient. In Europe, the phraseology is a little different. You have to say, for example, EasyJet 557 and stand 56 or so is type Airbus A320, and then you can say ready for startup, and that's how you get your clearance in European countries. So the phraseology differs a little bit, but if you use whatever phraseology, I think it works. Whether you use European phraseology in the US or vice versa, use US in Europe, it should work. It should be okay. So, all right. So we are continuing our climb now. It looks like there is a restriction here at Pesset, and then from Pesset to Bakur, we should begin the climb again to 33,000 feet, which is our cruise altitude. We're going to increase the range here a little bit so we can see what's going on. And here's a flyby for you guys in this rather terrible weather. Look at that. Look at those clouds. And let's do this here. You can see this better. And we're going through some really thick layers of cloud here, so it's probably advisable that we turn on our, yeah, look at that. We better start the, all right, so let's go here. I'm not sure why we get this here. It looks strange, but let me go ahead and turn on the engine anti-ice, wing, tail, left anti-ice, and right windshield anti-ice. The defog is already on, so we'll leave all the engine anti-ice equipment. You can see now in the display here, we have engine 1, 2, 3 anti-ice on, the airfoil anti-ice is on, as well as the windshield heat, and the indication here that all anti-ice equipment is currently on. We're going to keep this on until we are off, outside of the cloud that we're currently traveling through, and just to make sure that we don't have any ice accumulation on the aircraft wings. Right, here we go. Let's take a look here, and you can see we're still flying through the clouds with those beautiful engines. Gorgeous. Just really beautiful aircraft. By the way, this aircraft receives the channel recommendation without a doubt. And you can see now that we're climbing we're almost leveling off at our cruise altitude of 33,000 feet. Hello, Don. Welcome aboard, my friend. Any indication when Take Command South 348 will be updated for X-Plane? I have no clue. William, hello, William. You always bring great flights to us, Q8. Thank you very much. Well, thank you, sir, for being here, and thank you for your kind words. I appreciate it. By the way, for those of you who don't know, the Tollus A320 Neo has been officially released with a price tag of $89, and as means of supporting the development of the Tollus, the entire lineup, they have now the A319, 20, 21, and the A340. And that's a commendable job there by Tolis. So, and I'm feeling very inspired. So, here's the thing, folks. In our next stream, we are going to be flying the A320neo again by Tolis, and I'm going to be hosting a giveaway right here on the channel for 3 copies of the Tolis A320, courtesy of the channel. And be sure to tune in for the next stream for the giveaway of the Tolis A320. And I will tell you what, guys. If we reach 200 likes during this stream, I'm going to do a giveaway, and I'm going to give away 2 copies of the MD-11 to 2 lucky winners. If we reach 200 likes during the stream. Duncan, you've been a member with us for 25 months. Hey Q8, I'm at work currently, so can't watch sadly. No worries at all. Thank you very much for your kind support. 25 months of membership.
Hey Q8, I'm at work currently, so can't watch sadly.
No worries at all, my friend. I hope you have a good day at work. Speaking of work, man, it has been absolutely nerve-wracking at work. So much stress. I think we can turn off the engine NTIs. I really have been under considerable amount of stress as we near the deployment of some of our projects. So, God, what a relief to be here with you guys streaming. I've had a few flights in the LES Saab in X-Plane 12. As long as you manually and correctly power it up, all appears to work well. Oh, really? I didn't try it, Niels. But since you say that it works, I'll probably give it. I'll probably give it a shot. Yeah, 2 years and some change. Nice one, Carl. Renato, hello, my friend. Welcome aboard. Any predictions on the FF777 version 2? Looking forward to this one. I have no idea. 3 years in development. Oh, wow. Carl, I know Carl is one of the moderators for Flight Factor Discord. Maybe you've got some insight on the development and how it's going. Megawave 79er, I'm so annoyed. Been waiting for these universities to reply. I'm sorry, I didn't see your message. Looks like something not related to flight sim. Sorry. Yeah, thank you very much, Niels. Appreciate it. I'm an FF mod as well. All their stuff announced on the Travel version 2 is up on their Discord, but they haven't said anything public yet beyond that. I see. All right. We are on our way, and if we look here at our flight plan, if we come down here and we go to the performance econ cruise at 122 nautical miles for top of descent, and everything is looking good. Let's go ahead and see if the weather system is working. So I'm going to put this on too. And let's see. By the way, this needs to be on TARA. Weather system. All right. So this is turbulence map. This is test. This is... All right. Let's see here. So we've got the weather system. Are we getting anything there? We're definitely not. By the way, all the radios work perfectly well here on this aircraft. You can put TCAS. Traffic. But the weather doesn't seem to show. Yeah. All right. Well, we'll do it without the weather then. This one needs to be disarmed. We forgot to do that. All right, and we continue to cruise at 33,000 feet and about 110 nautical miles for top of descent. Yeah. In WXV, let's take a look here. WX radar. Yeah, I don't see anything there for sure. Anything here, perhaps? No. All right. Well. All right. So if we look at Navigraph, and let's see here. So that's us right there. All right, and this is our arrival into London Stansted. Right here, this is the Laurel transition, and this is London Stansted. So it's going to be a bit of a strange approach. There is a sharp turn at Laurel to come back and land. So if we go to the approach plate for runway 22 and show it here, so that's us right there. So we're going to come sort of to Bosta from. We're going to come through BKY, and then we're going to go that way for the approach to intercept the ILS for runway 22 at London Stansted. We'll just take a quick see the initial approach altitude is 2,500 with a final approach course of 222 degrees and the localizer frequency is 110.5, and we can see the decision height is 200. Okay, and the barrow is 548. So if we go back to, by the way, for the MD-11, if you go to the takeoff and approach, you don't really need to do anything here. So we have 50. You can select 50 or you can select 35, but that's about it. So we're going to select 50, and that gives us that the elevation is already set. Everything is set here, and we're going to do flaps 50 today at London Stansted, and that's going to give us a final VAP of 142. All right, perfect. So that's what we're going to do, and now it gives us also the approach speed. So clean minimum is 191. That's the speed, of course. Slat exit minimum is 155, and the flap 28 minimum is 145 knots. Excellent. We are looking good, and we should begin our descent momentarily. 82 nautical miles. We'll reset the MCP altitude in a little bit, but before we do so, let's switch to the outside view real quick. On the EFS panel, the weather is near VOR2, captain's side. All right, let's take a look here. VOR NDB, VR1. Ah, gotcha. Still nothing there. We don't see anything in the display. Thank you for that. Ah, we do have some. Need to increase the brightness. Looks like. Yeah, there is a little bit of. I can see a little bit of change here, but yeah, that's probably something that needs fixing or improvement. Not fixing, but improvement. Right, let's switch to the outside view real quick. Thank you guys for the tip there. I was wondering, with all these buttons, you know, it's kind of, you know, very easy to miss it. Although it's like in your face, like, why haven't I seen it? And it's just... All right, here's a look at the outside. And again, throughout this flight, I think the clouds are looking really, really good. Both in terms of the actual formation, the cloud shapes, the disbursement of the clouds. I think things look pretty good. This is one flight where, you know, the clouds look really, really good. Here's a flyby for you guys, kind of in slow motion. The sounds are much nicer as well in this version of the MD-11. Oh yeah. Brilliant. All right. If we look here, we are 63 nautical miles from top of descent. So I'm going to go ahead and reset the MCP altitude to our final, or our initial approach altitude of 2,500 feet. Right, 2,500 is set. Transition altitude in London Stansted is 6,000 feet. So let's bring up our friendly Abby tab and take a look at the weather. The weather is going to be 220, 17 knot. Check this out, guys. That's going to be rough. Yeah. I'm not sure how recent the METAR is, but this is definitely very rough. Few clouds at 2,400, scattered at 3,000, broken at 4,100. Temperature is 13 Celsius over at London Stansted, and the QNH is 1007. Gee, that's going to be some wind there. All right, perfect. By the way, the with the MD-11, in an MD-11, yeah. If you see the, what was I going to say? Skipped my head. All right. So everything here is set. Let's switch this back to flight plan. All right. That's the top of descent, 48 nautical miles. We're looking good. What a beast of an aircraft. It's really huge. They've done a really good job with the texturing. I think it looks really good. Still a bit dark. I think that's an X-plane thing though, but it's starting to look a lot better. There's, by the way, a nice feature. Now, the auto throttle is now controlled by the aircraft autopilot. So if I move the throttle, you can see the ghost throttle moving until you set it exactly where it is. So this is now corrected and aligned. So my throttle is where the aircraft throttle is. Now you can see the difference here again. So this is very important for our landing, because we are going to disconnect the autopilot. Sim update 12. Ladies and gentlemen, Fly Lilo himself is in the house. Hello, Fly Lilo. Welcome aboard, my friend. Glad to have you here. And this is, again, ladies and gentlemen, a reminder to help the disabled in our community have a better experience with the adaptive gaming devices. Please do help the Fly Lilo project. Fly Lilo, by the way, is Roberto and Jalil. They're just wonderful people trying to help the disabled in the community through the Fly Lilo nonprofit organization. Right before the stream, we've raised about 490 euros. And I know the number is much higher than that now. So I want to thank everyone who's donated so far to this cause. And I really urge you to, if you have something to spare to help the Fly Lilo project, it's just really a good cause, and it's a very rewarding thing to see how your small contribution can make a big difference in the lives of many who are not as fortunate as we are. So I really want to thank you. The Q8 Pilot family is really a very kind community. So thank you very much, guys, for your continued support. I appreciate it. One thing I remembered I wanted to tell you guys about the MD-11. So the MD-11 is kind of like the Boeing when it comes to top of descent. In the Airbus, you have to sort of initiate the descent yourself, whereas in the MD-11, once you reach the top of descent, it will automatically begin the descent. So that's kind of again a difference between or where the hybrid Boeing Airbus thing comes into play. Kakaku, hello my friend, welcome aboard. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your support. I appreciate it very much. Q8 pilot, are you planning to go to FS Expo in June? Sim737 pilot. I am a sponsor, a platinum sponsor of FS Expo 2023, and I also have a booth there where I will be there in person, so you can come and say hello to me if you are going. But yeah, the Q8 Pilot channel is a platinum sponsor, and you can check that out on the, if you want the details of where the booth is located, you can go to the Flight Expo website, go to the sponsors section or partners, and you'll find the Q8 Pilot logo there under platinum sponsors. If you click that, it will bring you here, but if you click on the list, there's a link there that shows you the entire setup. It's a PDF document that shows you where everyone is, and you'll find me in H7. Hello there, Alex. Welcome, my friend. Glad to have you here. Thank you for your continued support. Appreciate it. All right, so about 8 nautical miles for the top of descent, and we're going to begin our descent shortly into London Stansted. And it looks like the weather conditions at London Stansted are pretty rough, but and ladies and gentlemen, we have another donation for the Fly Lilo project. Thank you very much, guys, for your generosity and your support. I truly appreciate it. You guys are very kind. Thank you. All right, so we are going to begin the descent shortly into London Stansted. And according to the weather information, we're in for a challenge with this really big bird. So yeah, but that should add, you know, it should make it more interesting and more fun, if you ask me. Look at those engines, guys. You can see the speed is, the throttles are retarding as we begin the descent. As you can see now, we've already begun the automatic descent and descending at about 2,000 feet per minute. Automatic, again, we don't have to do anything. It says add drag, so we're going to come here and extend the speed brakes. You can see this, the speed is kind of increasing there. So let me give it a notch more. There we go. All right, now you can see add drag is gone as the speed starts to go down. And ladies and gentlemen, we have another donation for the Fly Lilo project. Thank you very much, guys, again, for your support. I appreciate it, and I appreciate your kindness, guys. Really, I do appreciate your kindness. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, if we reach 200 likes during this stream, I'm gonna give away 2 copies of the MD-11 courtesy of the Q8 Pilot channel. Is the MD-11 capable of landing on a single engine? Single engine, so 2 engines out? I don't think so. I don't think so. I know that it can do dual, so one single engine failure, it should be okay, but dual engine failure with a single engine, I very much doubt that. Just simply because of the size, the sheer size and weight of the aircraft. I think it would be very difficult to maintain lift with one engine running. I don't think it will produce sufficient thrust to maintain the the lift for an aircraft of this size and weight. Now, maybe it can. I really, just from my basic knowledge about how lift and thrust works, I don't think that it will work. I reckon you could sort of do a sort of controlled crash. That's a nice way of putting it, Niels. Yeah, it is really huge. It is huge. It is very huge, yeah. It is huge, and it is quite heavy. Here, let's take a look. Look at that. Look at how majestic this aircraft is. Gotta love it. And I think Rotate has done a really good job. This is probably the very best MD-11 simulation available today for Flight Sim. It would be very interesting to see what TFDI is going to bring to Microsoft Flight Simulator with their MD-11. Their 717, the TFDI 717 for P3D was an absolute joy. An aircraft that I did a review, of course, of that aircraft, and it's an aircraft I highly recommended at the time. I kind of, in some strange ways, I miss P3D. I miss the 747 by PMDG, the 777, and the excellent A2A fleet of aircraft from A2A Simulations. But yeah, I don't think I will be installing P3D version 5 unless there's a new version that warrants trying it out. But as things stand today, I don't think I will be going back to P3D. All right, folks, we continue our descent, 23,000 for 2,500. And we can see that there are some scattered clouds here as we arrive into London Stansted. Hopefully, the bad weather we saw in the METAR will subside by the time we arrive. But there is currently no indication that things are going to be good when we arrive into London Stansted. Mats, when did they start to build the MD-11? It looks old. The MD-11 is old, is very old. I don't think there are any left in service, maybe few that are still in service, but it is an old aircraft. I don't have the year, but it is an old aircraft. Very old. 1990. There you go. Thank you, Stan. Appreciate it. Stan, you're very knowledgeable. Thank you for that, Stan. Appreciate it. And I really can't wait to meet you, Stan, in FS Expo. Really looking forward to it. And by the way, guys, thanks to Google. By the way, guys, for those of you attending FS Expo, I will be hosting a dinner for the Q8 pilot followers, friends, members, whoever wants to join. More information on that is during the expo. But yeah, I will be organizing a special dinner for those of you who wants to meet with me. And I think we should be able to have a good chat about aviation, all things aviation. And I get to also answer any questions that you have. So it should be an exciting time. Yeah. It's absolutely going to be great, Stan, and the participants this year are just, it really calls for excitement, and so it's definitely going to be great. They fly in and out of Anchorage, Alaska. Oh, really? Do they still do, Alex? Wow. There are several MD-11 still. Oh, wow, really? FedEx and UPS, I think. Oh, yeah, I didn't know that. They are such good planes. The only problem with these aircraft is they're not fuel efficient, they're quite loud, and yeah, you can see here there's a big mess as we arrive into London Stansted. So let me decrease the range here so we have a better look at what's going on. And you can see here more clearly as with the shadows casted inside the cockpit, you can see the panel work a little better. And I think the guys at Rotate have done a really good job with this aircraft. Really, I really like it a lot. Here's a look at the outside. Again, very nice clouds. You can see the shape, you can see the formations, the accumulations, the cloud coverage. Overall, I think it's starting to look really good. So Laminar is definitely on the right track. Things are definitely improving, and I really like what I see. Yeah. They use it for cargo as well. Yeah, it's a good aircraft for cargo because it's such a huge plane. And with the 3 engines, you can probably put very heavy cargo in it. So yeah. How is X-Plane 12 performance compared to X-Plane 11? Simwings, quite honestly, they are pretty much comparable. I don't really see that much, that much difference in the performance in terms of FPS. But X-Plane 11 is probably more optimized at this point. Rampton has lost hope in X-Plane 12, and wow, that's very sad that you've lost hope in X-Plane 12. It's such a great simulator. All right, let's retract the. There we go. All right, here we go. Excellent. All right. So now you can see that we're going to Bravo Kilo Yankee, then to Buster. We're going to make the turn at the Laurel transition, and that will lead us all the way to the center fix for runway 22 at London Stansted, then the final fix, and finally we're going to intercept the ILS runway 22 and hopefully safely land the plane there and hope for a butter landing today. There's one more thing I need to tell you guys. The replay of this aircraft is not working correctly. So when you perform the replay, it shows the aircraft up in the air, although it should be on the ground. There's some bug there with this aircraft. So there you go. Casper, hello my friend. Welcome aboard. Glad to have you here. But haven't lost hope in watching your streams. Oh, thank you very much, sir. X-Plane 12 is amazing, but the performance is unacceptable. I agree. They need to tweak the performance. They said they are working on a lot of things related to the performance of X-Plane 12. That's good to know. Yes, Laminar is working on it for sure. But this actually looks very nice. I mean, if you look at the clouds here out the window, yeah. Look at that. I mean, this looks really nice. Yeah. All right, we're looking good. We're approaching 10,000 feet. Let's go ahead and turn on the landing lights and runway turn off lights. We're gonna turn on the non-smoking fasten seatbelt signs, and cabin crew should take care of things for us. All right, we're below 10,000 feet, and we are now making the turn towards Basta. And we are now almost at our... Look at, guys, look at this scene. I mean, this looks really nice. Look at those clouds. They are nicely distributed. The scattering is done well. The actual cloud shape and cover look very good. Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. Definitely big improvement. Hello there, Martin Farkas. How are you doing? Have you tried Auto Ortho? Download Ortho as you fly like MSFS. No, I have not. Hello there, Hart. Welcome, my friend. Hello, Dark. Welcome, my friend. Welcome aboard. I think NT-aliasing has improved quite a bit. See, if you look here, I mean, look at that. Yeah, it looks good. All right. So we are coming down to 211. We can, by the way, extend slats at this point. I'm going to leave it for now. And we're going to continue our descent. We're going to make a note of the altimeter is 1007, I believe. Yep. All right, 1007. And transition altitude is 6,000 feet. And we're going to go ahead and decrease the range, so zooming in a little further. Here's the turn. And now we're heading over to Laurel, which is the transition into our approach. Yeah, without a doubt, MSFS Jared has its problems, just like X-Plane does. But both sims are improving. I just downloaded the sim update 12, and it is just really very, very smooth so far. I've just done a quick test flight just to make sure everything's okay, and PMDG appears to have also made an update. All right, we are at 217 knots. I'm going to go ahead and extend these slats now. Heading over to, we're going to go actually back. This is Laurel, and then back to Bravo Kilo Yankee, and then the center fix for runway 22. So we're looking all right. And we can actually set now the aircraft is doing a little bit of a dance here due to the flight plan. I don't think the flight plan is done correctly here, but that's all right. All right, so if we look at the altimeter, we want to set the altimeter to 1007. Let's see here. If it let me, it's not gonna let me do it, is it? One more. There we go. 1007 is set. And we're going to do the same thing here. 1007. All right, perfect. 1007 is set. Let's go ahead and arm the speed brakes. And here's the turn. Now, we are going to begin the turn now towards the center fix. This is Bravo Kilo Yankee. And this is the center fix here. So we're going to go through here and then make the turn. We're still descending. We're looking good. Speed is good. Altitude is good. Let's go for a butter. Hopefully. I'll definitely try Auto Ortho Block 62. Thank you for that. Thank you for the tip. Appreciate it. Right, it's doing all sorts of strange things here with the flight plan, but that's okay. All right, we're gonna go flaps 15. Yeah, it's definitely doing some strange things. We could have flown direct to the center fix, but that's okay. All right, everything's looking good. And the cloud cover isn't that bad as we arrive here into London Stansted, so that's good. Because that means that visibility is okay, and now we can see the turn. Traffic. Where's the traffic? I don't see anything. Do you guys see anything? Absolutely nothing. Look at the shape of those wings. Just look at that. Look at the details there below the wing. Just absolutely sensational. All right. 3,300. We're coming up to the center fix right here. Center fix for 22. So we're almost at our destination now. We are at 196 knots. I'm going to maintain current speed, and we'll maintain current flap settings. And what we can do is now arm the approach and land. And it's on autopilot too, that's okay. And now if you go here to the radios, so if I go to nav radio, you'll see the ILS frequency is already set up for you. And with the approach course, 1 degree difference, it doesn't matter. The Navigraph chart showed 222 degrees for the approach course, whereas in the sim it's 221. But I think that's okay. All right, we're looking okay. I'm gonna go ahead and switch to 170. Let me just put this on 180 knots for now. We'll switch to FMS speed a little later once we are aligned. We'll switch back to FMS speed. We have the glide slope here. There we go. All right. So we are looking okay, and we are gonna say decrease. Decrease. Come on. That's the max.
Traffic,
okay.
traffic.
Keeps complaining about the traffic. Right, we have the localizer there. The traffic's right there, so to our left. We are almost at the platform altitude or the initial approach altitude. All right, so what we're going to do here is we are going to select flaps 25 or 28. Is it 28? And we're going to say FMS speed. All right, so we're going to go to the FMS speed now. We can see the glide slope and the localizer needles both coming into view. And that is the center fix. We're looking good. It does look like the 733, yeah. Right, looking good. And at this point, I'm going to go ahead and lower the landing gear. I think should be okay. I know it's pitching up, and that's probably because of the center of gravity. All right, we are clear to land. Yeah, it's less of a pitch now. Look at how beautiful this aircraft is, folks. All right, we can see the glide slope needle here. And the runway is ahead. I still can't see the runway, but we should be able to see it momentarily. All right, let's go ahead and set our, let's see here, our throttle, right? That's good. Excellent. We want to shoot for about 143 knots. And we are clear to land, runway 22. Can you shift center of gravity in the fuel tanks on this aircraft? I think you can. All right, we are on the glide slope and on the localizer. We are clear to land, runway 22. Landing lights are on. Cabin crew notified. Flaps are full. Gear is down, and we are good. Excellent. I can see the airport. I still can't see the runway ahead, but I can still see that we're on the localizer. And let me just zoom in a little bit. Yeah, I can definitely see the airport. Can't see the runway still. And now it's coming into view. It's a little foggy. We're right straight ahead. Thank you there, Dark. Appreciate it. All right, now I can see the runway at least. I'm sure you guys can see it right there. Unfortunately, we'll not be able to do a replay today because I mean we can do the replay. It's just not going to work with this aircraft. But just look at how majestic this aircraft. Look at those beautiful flaps and the slats. Just what a incredible looking view. Absolutely gorgeous. All right, 1,000 feet. We are going to disconnect the auto throttle and autopilot disconnected. And my aircraft. Definitely some wind there. We're going to try to maintain the current speed.
Traffic, traffic, traffic.
100. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
And ladies and gentlemen, welcome to London Stansted. Reversers are out. All right, and we've made it safely. We'll attempt to do the replay. Hopefully it works, but I know that in previous attempts it did not work. Welcome to London Stansted, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. Thank you very much, Don. Thank you, Rand. Thank you, Dark there. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Yeah, it was definitely a lot of fun. The wind was just really strong, but it was just so much fulfilling flying this MD-11 and bringing this big bird on the runway is just a real joy. And those of you who have the aircraft will know exactly what I'm talking about when I say it's a joy to put this aircraft on the ground. Just really a lovely, lovely aircraft by Rotate. Right, we can begin retracting the flaps. Let's see here. We can also disarm the speed brakes. There we go. Alright, so it says CG disagree. Ooh, look at that. Jet 2. There's another MD there's another MD-11 right there. Let's give it power, but we don't need the landing lights, so let's turn those off, and we're gonna leave the runway turn-off lights on. We can turn off the weather system. There we go. Looks like a busy day here at London Stansted. And by the way, this is a default airport of London Stansted, so we need to, by the way, also turn off the strobe lights. Excellent. And we can leave the rest now. Just look at how beautiful this aircraft is. Lovely. Ah, it's a DC-10 tanker. Thanks, Niels. It looked like an MD-11. She is definitely a massive beast, yeah. I don't know if you guys noticed that the cockpit is less dark when you're on the ground than it is while you're flying. And I'm not sure. I think it's to do with the eye adaptation or the adaptive lighting, automated adaptive lighting that Laminar has implemented in X-Plane 12. Engine cool. I think that's what it is. I think that needs probably some tweaking to ensure that it doesn't get too dark while we're flying. There's a Ryanair for you guys. Yeah, he's... Now, I don't know if our landing was a butter landing or not, but we're going to attempt to do the replay. But first, let's bring this aircraft to a complete stop. Here, we can put it on the... I mean, it doesn't really matter. We just don't really want to make this a long taxi, so I'm just going to park it anywhere here. Is this empty? It is empty. All right, let's go ahead and park it here. All right, perfect. All right, so what we're going to do is we are going to attempt to look at the landing. All right, parking brake is set. It's not going to work because there is some sort of a bug where the aircraft doesn't show. So we'll see what happens. Please don't crash. Oh no. I think X-Plane is about to crash. Yeah. I tried. There we go. It finally crashed. The good thing is that it crashed after we actually did the after we landed the aircraft. But this happens with this aircraft. This front of the aircraft. Yeah, probably, Martin. You're probably right. Yeah, unfortunately, it crashed. So it is. By the way, this is not X-Plane 12 because all the other aircraft work fine. So what we're gonna do is we'll load it at London Stansted, and let's see here. We'll just put it cargo. All right, put it in the cargo stand. So I think the replay there's something wrong with the replay with the MD-11, and I hope that the guys at Rotate fixes this issue. Don't forget the 727. I definitely, it's one aircraft I really miss, the 727, especially in, I know there was one for P3D, but I really love the Fly JSON 727. And it's a bummer that it's still not updated for X-Plane 12. That's just really a bummer. And all right, so we're back at the cargo there. Look at this beautiful aircraft, guys. Just really sensational aircraft. The MD-11 by Rotate. By the way, this is default London Stansted. Again, very nice default airport. For a default airport, I mean, I really can't complain. Looks pretty good. All right, folks. Well, this is it for this live stream. We unfortunately did not hit the 200 like criteria for the giveaway, but I'll tell you guys, I'll make it up for you guys in the next stream when we do the the A320, tallest A320 giveaway in our next stream, which is going to be on Thursday. So I am off tomorrow from streaming, but I'll be back on Thursday with a tallest A320 Neo stream, and we're going to be taking a look again, a third look at the aircraft. I'll try to pick a nice route. Maybe I'll have the channel members select the route for our next flight. But during that flight, I'm going to give away 3 copies of the tallest A320 Neo, courtesy of the Q8 Pilot channel, as means of saying thank you for all your support over the years. And we might just add another copy of the MD-11 for the upcoming stream on Thursday. So guys, stay tuned. Make sure you hit that bell notification button so that you are notified of when the stream is scheduled and the time it goes live. I want to thank you all, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in this evening, and thank you for your support. Until next time, please take care of yourselves and each other, and I will see you all very soon. Stay safe, and bye-bye for now.